I showed up to my son's engagement party in my oldest clothes. A faded dress from 10 years ago, worn out shoes with scuffed toes, no jewelry except my simple wedding band. My hair pulled back in a messy bun. I looked like I had just come from cleaning someone's house, and that was exactly the point. My son Marcus didn't know I had money, real money. The kind of money that changes lives. He thought I was barely scraping by on a teacher's pension, living paycheck to paycheck in my small house, struggling to make ends meet. I had let him believe that for years, on purpose, because I wanted to know who would love him for him, not for what his family could give them, not for the inheritance they thought was coming. Just for Marcus. His fiancée Natasha had no idea. None. And tonight, at their engagement party at some fancy restaurant downtown, I was about to find out exactly what kind of person she really was. The restaurant was expensive. The kind of place where the menu doesn't have prices, where the waiters wear white gloves, where everything is served on plates that probably cost more than my monthly grocery bill. Or at least, that's what people thought my grocery bill was. I walked in through the heavy glass doors. A hostess in a black dress looked me up and down. Her smile faltered for just a second when she saw my outfit. "I'm here for the Williams engagement party," I said. "Of course, right this way." She led me through the restaurant, past tables full of well-dressed people, past wine bottles that cost hundreds of dollars, past couples celebrating anniversaries and business deals, and whatever else rich people celebrate. The private room in the back was already full. Marcus's friends, Natasha's family, co-workers, everyone dressed in their finest, suits and dresses and jewelry that sparkled under the dim lighting. And then there was me, looking like I had wandered in from the street. I saw Marcus first, my baby boy. Well, not a baby anymore. He was 32 years old now, tall and handsome in his navy suit. He had his father's eyes, dark brown and kind. He was laughing at something someone said. Happy, genuinely happy. Then I saw her. Natasha. She was beautiful. I'll give her that. Long, dark hair, perfectly styled. A red dress that probably cost $1,000. Makeup done professionally. She looked like she belonged in a magazine. She was talking to an older couple. Her parents, I assumed. They looked wealthy. The kind of wealthy where you can tell just by looking at them. Designer everything. Perfect posture. That confidence that comes from never having to worry about money. Marcus spotted me. His face lit up. "Mom, you made it!" He rushed over and hugged me. I hugged him back tight. My boy, my only child. The person I loved most in this world. Of course I made it. I wouldn't miss this for anything. Natasha came over. Her smile was bright, but I could see her eyes scanning my outfit, taking in every detail. The old dress, the worn shoes, the lack of jewelry. "Mrs. Williams, so glad you could come." Her voice was sweet, too sweet. "Thank you for inviting me. And please call me Helen." "Helen, of course. Marcus has told me so much about you. All good things, I hope." She laughed. A tinkling laugh that sounded rehearsed. "Oh yes, all good things." But her eyes told a different story. They were calculating, judging, already dismissing me as someone who didn't matter. "Come on, Mom," Marcus said. "Let me introduce you to everyone." He led me around the room, introducing me to his friends, to Natasha's family, to co-workers I had never met. Everyone was polite, smiled, said nice things, but I could feel their judgment, could see them looking at my clothes. Wondering why Marcus's mother was dressed like that. Wondering what kind of family he came from. Natasha's mother, Patricia, was especially cold. She shook my hand limply, barely looked at me. "So you're a retired teacher?" she asked. Her tone made it sound like I had said I was unemployed. "Yes. I taught elementary school for 35 years. "How nice." She said it like it wasn't nice at all. "Patricia, what do you do?" I'm on several charity boards. We do a lot of philanthropic work. She emphasized the word philanthropic, like I might not know what it meant. That sounds fulfilling. It is. We're very involved in the community, supporting the arts, helping those less fortunate. She looked at me when she said, less fortunate, like I was one of them. I just smiled. Let her think whatever she wanted. Dinner was served. I was seated at the end of the table, furthest from Marcus and Natasha, who were at the head. Next to me was Natasha's aunt, a woman named Diane who spent the entire first course talking about her vacation home in the Hamptons. "Do you travel much, Helen?" she asked eventually. "Not really. I like to stay close to home." "Oh, well, travel really broadens the mind. You should try it sometime. If you can afford it, of course." "If I can afford it, like I was too poor to leave my own zip code." "Maybe someday," I said. The second course came. Some kind of fish with a sauce I couldn't pronounce. Everyone else seemed to know exactly what it was. They discussed the preparation, the chef, the wine pairing. I just ate quietly, listening, observing. Natasha was in her element, laughing, charming everyone, playing the perfect bride-to-be. But every so often, I caught her looking at me. And each time, there was something in her expression. Something I didn't like. Disdain. That's what it was. She looked at me with disdain. After dinner, people mingled, drinking champagne, congratulating Marcus and Natasha, talking about the upcoming wedding. I stood in the corner, watching. No one really talked to me. A few people asked polite questions, but then moved on quickly. I was the boring old lady in the bad dress, not worth their time. Then I overheard it. Natasha was standing about 10 feet away, talking to her mother and two of her friends. They didn't realize I was close enough to hear. "I just don't understand," one of the friends said. "Marcus is so successful, so educated. How did he end up with such a poor family?" Natasha sighed. "I know. His mother is sweet, but my God, did you see what she's wearing? I've seen homeless people dressed better." They all laughed. Quiet laughs. The kind meant to be discreet, but still cruel. Patricia, Natasha's mother, chimed in. "Well, at least Marcus has made something of himself despite his circumstances." "You can't choose your family." "No, but you can choose how much you see them," Natasha said. "After we're married, I'm going to make sure we keep our distance. I don't want her embarrassing us at events. Can you imagine bringing her to the country club?" More laughter. "Maybe you can buy her a nice dress," one of the friends suggested, "as a gift. So she has something appropriate to wear to the wedding." I thought. "About that," Natasha said. "But honestly, it's not just the clothes. It's everything. The way she talks, the way she acts. She's just so low class. There's no fixing that." My heart was pounding. Not from hurt, from anger, from disgust. This woman my son wanted to marry, was standing here talking about me like I was trash. "Maybe Marcus is marrying up to escape all that," Patricia said. "Smart boy. He knows where his future is." They kept talking about how lucky Marcus was to have found Natasha, how she was going to elevate him, give him the life he deserved, how his poor background would just be a funny story they told at dinner parties. I walked away before I heard more. I needed air. I needed to think. I went outside, stood on the sidewalk in front of the restaurant. The cool night air felt good on my hot face. What was I going to do? Tell Marcus what I heard? He was so happy, so in love. Would he even believe me? Or would he think I was just a jealous mother who didn't want to lose her son? The door opened behind me. Marcus came out. "Mom, you okay? You left kind of suddenly." "I'm fine, honey. Just needed some air. It's warm in there." He came and stood next to me. We were quiet for a minute. "So what do you think?" he asked. "About what?" "About Natasha. about everything. He sounded nervous. Like my opinion really mattered to him. I looked at my son, at his hopeful face, and I couldn't do it. Couldn't ruin this moment for him based on one overheard conversation. She seems nice, I said. That's it? Just nice? I smiled. She's beautiful. Clearly successful. You seem happy. I am happy, Mom. Happier than I've ever been. I know you two haven't spent much time together yet. But once you get to know her, you're going to love her. I promise. I'm sure I will. He hugged me. I love you, Mom. Thanks for coming tonight. I know this probably isn't your scene. If only he knew. I love you too, baby. We went back inside. The party continued for another hour. More champagne, more congratulations, more laughing and talking and planning. I left early. Said I was tired. Marcus walked me to my car. An old Honda with a dent in the passenger door. Are you sure you're okay to drive? He asked. I'm fine. It's not that far. Okay, drive safe. Call me when you get home. I will. I drove home in silence, my mind racing. What was I going to do? I had to tell Marcus. But how? When? And there was another part of me, a part that wanted revenge. Wanted to see the look on Natasha's face when she realized who I really was, what I really had. But that felt petty, small. This wasn't about revenge. This was about protecting my son from a woman who was only interested in him for what he could give her, for the image he projected. When I got home, I sat in my living room, my small, comfortable living room, with furniture I had owned for 20 years, with family photos on the walls, with my worn but cozy couch. This was the house Marcus grew up in, a 3-bedroom ranch in a working-class neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but it was paid off. Had been for 15 years. What Marcus didn't know, what no one knew, was that I owned 17 other properties. Rental properties all over the state, apartment buildings, commercial real estate, a small shopping center. My husband Richard, Marcus's father, had been in real estate. He died when Marcus was 10. A car accident, sudden and tragic and devastating. Richard left me everything, and he had been smart, very smart. He had investments, properties, assets that most people didn't even know about. After he died, I kept it quiet. I didn't want people treating Marcus differently. Didn't want him growing up spoiled, entitled. I wanted him to work hard, to earn things, to understand the value of money. So I lived simply, worked as a teacher. Saved Richard's income and let it grow, invested it wisely, followed Richard's strategies. Over the years, that money had multiplied. I now had a net worth of about $12 million, give or take. But I still lived in this house, still drove my old Honda, still wore simple clothes. Because I didn't need more, and because I wanted to see who Marcus would become without money influencing everything. He had turned out wonderful. Worked hard, got scholarships for college, built a career in finance, made his own money, never asked me for anything except love and support. I was so proud of him. But Natasha, she was a problem, a big problem. I couldn't let him marry someone who looked down on people, who judged them by their clothes and their houses and their bank accounts, who thought being low class was something to be embarrassed about. That wasn't love. That was opportunism. I needed a plan. A way to show Marcus who Natasha really was before he made the biggest mistake of his life. Over the next few days, I thought about it constantly. I called my lawyer, a man named Bernard, who had handled Richard's estate and my affairs for over 20 years. Bernard, I need your advice, I said when he answered. Helen, always a pleasure. What can I do for you? I told him everything. About Marcus's engagement, about what I overheard, about my concerns. Bernard was quiet for a moment. Then he said, You need to tell Marcus the truth. About the money, about everything. I don't want him to know yet. Not like this. Helen, he's 32 years old. Don't you think it's time? Maybe. But if I tell him now, he'll think I'm just trying to break up his engagement, that I'm using money to manipulate the situation. Aren't you? No, I'm trying to protect him. There's a difference, Bernard sighed. What do you want to do? I want to test Natasha, really test her. I want to see how she reacts when she thinks there's nothing to gain from this family, when she thinks Marcus comes from nothing. And if she fails the test, then I'll tell Marcus everything. Show him who she really is. Let him make an informed decision. And if he still wants to marry her, then I'll respect his choice. But at least he'll know the truth. Bernard was quiet again. Okay, what do you need from me? Help me set something up. Something that will show Natasha's true colors without me having to say a word. We talked for another hour, planning, strategizing. By the end of the call, we had a plan. The next day, I called Marcus. Hey, Mom, what's up? I wanted to talk to you about something. Do you have a minute? Sure. Is everything okay? Everything's fine. I just wanted to ask you about the wedding. Have you two set a date yet? We're thinking next spring. Maybe April or May. That's wonderful. And the venue? We're looking at a few places. Natasha wants something elegant, classic, really special. Of course. And honey, I need to ask you something. It's a little awkward. What is it? Well, I know weddings are expensive, and I want to contribute. But I need to be honest with you about my situation. Mom, you don't have to. No, let me finish. I want to help, but my budget is limited. Very limited. I can probably give you about $2,000. I know that's not much for the kind of wedding you're planning, but it's what I have. There was a pause. Then Marcus said, Mom, you don't have to give us anything. Natasha's family is covering most of it anyway. I know. But I want to contribute something. I'm your mother. I want to be part of this. Okay. Thank you. That's really generous. There's one more thing. I was wondering if maybe you could help me with something. Of course. Anything. My roof is leaking. I got a quote to fix it, and it's $3,000. I don't have that right now. I was wondering if maybe you could lend it to me. I'll pay you back. I promise. It'll just take me a few months. Another pause. Longer this time. $3,000? I know it's a lot. If you can't, I understand. I'll figure something out. No, it's not that. Of course I'll help you. That's what family does. Thank you, honey. I really appreciate it. When do you need it? Soon. The leak is getting worse. Every time it rains, I have to put buckets everywhere. Okay. I'll transfer it to your account this weekend. Thank you. You're a good son. We hung up. I felt guilty for lying to him, but this was necessary. I needed to see how Natasha would react when she thought Marcus was giving away $3,000 to his poor mother. That weekend, Marcus transferred the money. I saw it hit my account, and I left it there. Untouched. The following Tuesday, Marcus called me. His voice was tense. Mom, we need to talk. What's wrong? It's about the money. For your roof. Did the transfer not go through? No, it went through. It's just, Natasha is upset about it. Upset? Why? He sighed. She thinks it's a lot of money to lend. She thinks maybe you should get a home equity loan or something. Pay for it yourself. Marcus, I don't have equity. The house isn't worth much. And banks don't give loans to retired people living on pensions. I know. That's what I told her. But she what? She thinks you should sell the house, move somewhere smaller, an apartment or something. She says you're living beyond your means. Living beyond my means. I was living on a teacher's pension in a house that cost me nothing because it was paid off. How was that living beyond my means? I see. Mom, I'm sorry. I told her it's my money and I can do what I want with it. But she's being really difficult about this. Marcus, If this is causing problems between you two, I can figure something else out. No. You're my mother. You need help. I'm helping you. Natasha is just going to have to deal with it. But I could hear it in his voice. This was causing a fight, a real fight. Let me talk to her, I said. Mom, that's not necessary. Yes, it is. I don't want to be the cause of problems in your relationship. Give her my number. Tell her to call me. Are you sure? I'm sure. The next day, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Helen? This is Natasha. Marcus said you wanted to talk to me. Yes. Thank you for calling. I wanted to apologize. Apologize for what? For putting Marcus in an awkward position. With the money. I didn't realize it would cause problems between you two. She was quiet for a second. Then she said, Helen, can I be honest with you? Please. I think you're taking advantage of Marcus. He works hard for his money, and you're always asking him for help. Always? This is the first time I've ever asked him for anything. That's not what he told me. He said you call him all the time, with problems. Things breaking. Bills you can't pay. It's constant. That was a complete lie. I called Marcus maybe twice a month, just to check in, to hear his voice. I never asked for anything. Natasha, that's not true. I don't. Look, I'm not trying to be mean, but you need to understand something. Marcus and I are building a life together. A good life. We have plans, goals. We want to travel, buy a nice house, have children someday. We can't do that if he's constantly bailing you out. I'm not asking to be bailed out. It's a loan. I'll pay him back. With what? You're retired. You live on a fixed income. How are you going to pay back $3,000? I'll figure it out. Helen, here's what I think you should do. Sell your house. It's too big for you anyway. Buy a small condo. Something affordable. Use the difference to pay off your debts and build a little savings. Then you won't have to keep asking Marcus for money. My house is paid off. I don't have debts. Everyone has debts. And clearly you're not managing your money well if you can't afford a simple roof repair. I felt my face getting hot. This woman, this horrible woman, was lecturing me about money management. Me. Someone who had turned a comfortable inheritance into millions through careful planning and smart investments. Natasha, I appreciate your concern. But my finances are my business. Not when they affect Marcus, then they become my business too. I took a deep breath, counted to 5. I'm not having this conversation with you. If Marcus has concerns about the loan, he can talk to me himself. He won't. Because he's too nice. He feels guilty. You're his mother, so he thinks he has to help you. But someone needs to be realistic here. And that someone is you? Yes, someone has to look out for our future. And frankly, Helen, you're not part of that future. At least not in the way you seem to think you are. What does that mean? It means that once we're married, Marcus and I are going to have boundaries. We're not going to be at your beck and call every time something breaks or you need money. We have our own lives to live. I never asked you to be at my beck and call. You might not ask directly, but you play the poor, helpless old woman card, and Marcus falls for it every time. Well, I don't. I see exactly what you're doing. And what am I doing, Natasha? You're manipulating him, using guilt, making him feel responsible for you. It's pathetic. That word, pathetic. She called me pathetic. I think we're done here, I said. My voice was cold. Good. As long as we understand each other. Marcus is mine now, not yours, and I'm not going to let you drain him dry just because you made poor life choices. She hung up. I sat there holding the phone, shaking, not from hurt. From pure rage. This woman, this terrible, cruel, gold-digging woman, was trying to isolate my son, turn him against me, make him think I was some kind of burden he needed to get rid of. Over my dead body. I called Bernard immediately. "It's time," I said when he answered. "Time for what?" "Time to show her who she's dealing with." The wedding was in 3 months. Marcus and Natasha had sent out invitations, booked the venue, a country club in the wealthy part of town, hired caterers, a band, a photographer. Everything was planned down to the last detail, and I was going to ruin it all. Not out of spite, not out of pettiness, but because my son deserved better than a woman who looked down on people. Who thought money was the only thing that mattered? Who was marrying him for status and security instead of love? Bernard and I spent weeks planning, setting everything up, making sure every detail was perfect. The first part of the plan was simple. I was going to stage a crisis, something that would require Marcus's help, something expensive. And we were going to see how Natasha reacted. 2 months before the wedding, I called Marcus. My voice was shaking, real tears in my eyes. "Marcus, I need your help. Something terrible happened." "Mom, what's wrong? Are you okay?" "I'm fine, but my car was hit in a parking lot. Hit and run. The whole side is smashed in." "Oh no. That's awful. Are you hurt?" "No, I wasn't in it. It happened while I was in the grocery store." "But Marcus, the repair estimate is $7,500. My insurance has a high deductible. $5,000. I don't have that kind of money. $7,500 for a car that was worth maybe $3,000. But he didn't know that. "Okay, don't worry. We'll figure it out." I felt terrible asking, especially after last time. "But I don't know what else to do. I need my car. It's how I get to the grocery store, to the doctor, everywhere." "I know, Mom. It's okay. Let me talk to Natasha and figure out how we can help." Natasha. Of course he had to talk to Natasha first. That night, Marcus called back. "Mom, about the car. I can lend you $2,000. That should cover your deductible plus a little extra. But $7,500 is just too much right now. We have the wedding coming up. A lot of expenses. I understand. $2,000 is more than generous. Maybe you can get a cheaper repair? Try a different shop?" "I'll do that." "Thank you, honey. I'm sorry I can't do more." "Don't be sorry. You're helping. That's what matters." We hung up, and I smiled, because this was going exactly as planned. The next day, I called Marcus again. "Honey, good news. I found a shop that will do the repair for $3,000, so your $2,000 will almost cover it." "Oh, that's great, Mom. See? I told you it would work out. But there's one more thing. The shop needs payment up front before they'll start the work. Can you send the money today? I'm without a car and it's really difficult." "Yeah, of course. I'll do it right now. Thank you. You're saving my life." 2 hours later, the money was in my account. And I knew. I knew that Marcus had sent it without telling Natasha. Because if he had asked her permission, there's no way she would have agreed. I was right. That evening, Marcus called. He sounded stressed. "Mom, I need to ask you something. Did I send you the money yet? For the car?" "Yes. A few hours ago." "Why?" "Okay, good. Just checking. Is everything all right?" There was a pause. "Yeah, everything's fine. Natasha found out about the money. She's not happy." "Oh no. Marcus, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. She's being unreasonable. She thinks I should have discussed it with her first. Maybe you should have. I don't want to cause problems." "Mom, stop. You're not causing problems. She is. This is my money. I earned it, and I can help my mother if I want to." But I could hear the strain in his voice, the exhaustion. They had been fighting, a lot. "Marcus, maybe I should pay you back. Return the money. I'll figure something else out." "No, the money is already sent. It's done. Just get your car fixed." "Please." "Okay, if you're sure." "I'm sure." But he didn't sound sure. He sounded tired and frustrated and caught in the middle. Perfect. Over the next few weeks, I heard from Marcus less and less. When I did call, he was short, distracted, said he was busy with work and wedding planning. But I knew the truth. Natasha was controlling his time, controlling his attention, slowly cutting me out of his life. 1 month before the wedding, I got a call from an unknown number. But I recognized the voice immediately. Helen, it's Patricia, Natasha's mother. Patricia, what can I do for you? I wanted to talk to you, mother to mother, about Marcus and Natasha. Okay. Natasha told me about the money situation, how you keep asking Marcus for help, how it's causing tension. I don't keep asking him for help. I asked twice. Twice in 3 months is a lot, Helen. Especially for someone on a fixed income. I had emergencies. What was I supposed to do? Patricia sighed. Look, I'm going to be direct. Natasha is concerned that once she and Marcus are married, you're going to expect them to support you, to take care of you financially. That's not. Let me finish. What I'm calling to suggest is that maybe you should start looking into other options. Senior living communities, assisted living, places where you would have support and wouldn't be dependent on Marcus. I'm 63 years old. I don't need assisted living. But you need help managing your finances. You need help with basic maintenance on your home and car. You're clearly struggling. I'm not struggling. Helen, denial isn't helpful. I work with a lot of seniors through my charity work. I know the signs. And I'm telling you, as someone who cares, that you need to start planning for your future. A future where Marcus isn't your safety net. Marcus is my son, not my safety net. Then stop treating him like one. The conversation went on for another 15 minutes. Patricia explaining all the reasons why I should move into a facility. Sell my house. Become someone else's problem instead of Marcus's. By the end, I was done. Done pretending. Done listening. Done playing this game. Patricia, I appreciate your concern. But my relationship with my son is none of your business. It is my business when it affects my daughter's marriage. Then maybe your daughter shouldn't be marrying someone whose mother she doesn't respect. Respect is earned, Helen. And frankly, you haven't earned it. I hung up on her. The second time someone from that family had made me hang up in anger. That night, I called Bernard. I'm done. We're moving to phase 2. Are you sure? Once we do this, there's no going back. I'm sure. Set it up. Phase 2 was elaborate. Expensive, but worth every penny. Bernard arranged for a private investigator. Someone to look into Natasha's background, her finances, her history. What we found was interesting. Natasha came from money. That much was true. Her parents were wealthy. Her father owned an investment firm. Her mother sat on charity boards. But Natasha herself was broke, deep in credit card debt, over $60,000. She had expensive taste, but no income to support it. She worked as an event planner, but barely made enough to cover her minimum payments. She was drowning, and Marcus was her life raft. His job in finance paid well, 6 figures. He had savings, investments, a good future ahead of him. And once they were married, she would have access to all of it. The investigator also found something else. Natasha had been engaged before, 2 years ago, to a man named Trevor, a lawyer, wealthy family, big house, the works. But that engagement had ended suddenly, right before the wedding. And according to people who knew her, it ended because Trevor's family discovered Natasha's debt. They convinced him to call it off. She was a gold digger, pure and simple, looking for someone to solve her financial problems, to fund her lifestyle. And Marcus was perfect, successful, kind, too trusting, but he had no idea. No idea she was using him, that she saw him as a meal ticket instead of a partner. I had to tell him, had to show him the truth before it was too late. 2 weeks before the wedding, I called Marcus. Honey, I need to talk to you. In person. It's important. Mom, I'm really busy right now. Can it wait? No, it can't. Please, just give me an hour, he sighed. Okay, I can meet you tomorrow for lunch. We met at a small cafe near his office. He looked tired, stressed, dark circles under his eyes. What's going on, Mom? Is everything okay? I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you a long time ago. He looked worried. Are you sick? No, I'm fine, but I haven't been honest with you. About my situation, what do you mean? I took a deep breath. Marcus, I'm not poor. I never was. What? I have money. A lot of money. Your father left me well off. Very well off. I've been investing it, managing it. And I'm not struggling. I never was. He stared at me, confused. I don't understand. The roof, the car. You said you didn't have money. I lied. I wanted to see how Natasha would react when she thought you came from nothing. When she thought there was no money to inherit, no safety net. You lied? About being poor? Yes. Why would you do that? Because I needed to know if Natasha loved you for you, or if she was with you for other reasons. Other reasons? I slid a folder across the table. Inside was everything the investigator had found. Natasha's debt, her previous engagement, her spending habits, everything. Marcus opened the folder. Started reading. His face changed with each page. Shock, disbelief, anger. Where did you get this? I hired an investigator. You what? Marcus, I had to. After what I heard at the engagement party, after the way she talked to me, after everything, I had to protect you. By lying to me? By spying on my fiancé? By finding out the truth. A truth she wasn't. Going to tell you. He kept reading. Page after page. The evidence was damning. Credit card statements, bank records, text messages between Natasha and her friends where she bragged about landing a good one and how she was set for life once they got married. When he finished, he closed the folder. His hands were shaking. This can't be real. It's all real. I'm sorry, Marcus, but you needed to know. She wouldn't. She loves me. Does she? Or does she love what you can give her? He stood up. I can't. I can't deal with this right now, Marcus. I need time to think. He left. Walked out of the cafe without another word. Left me sitting there with that folder on the table. I didn't hear from him for 3 days. I called, texted, nothing. I was terrified. Terrified. I had ruined everything. Terrified he would hate me. Terrified he would marry her anyway just to spite me. On the 4th day, he called, Can you come over? To my apartment. We need to talk. I drove there immediately. Marcus lived in a nice building downtown, a 1-bedroom with a view of the city. When I got there, he looked awful, like he hadn't slept in days. His eyes were red. His hair was a mess. Natasha was there too. Sitting on the couch, her face was blotchy from crying. But her eyes were hard, angry. Mom, Marcus said. Sit down. I sat in the chair across from them. I confronted Natasha. About everything in that folder. About the debt. About her ex-fiancé. About the things she said to her friends. And she denied it at first. Said you made it all up. That you're trying to sabotage our relationship because you're jealous. But I showed her the evidence. The bank statements. The text messages. Things she couldn't deny. Natasha glared at me. You had no right to invade my privacy like that. You had no right to use my son. I'm not using him. I love him. You love his money. That's not true. Then why didn't you tell him about your Leffick debt? About Trevor? About what you really think of me? She opened her mouth. Closed it. No answer. Marcus looked at her. Really looked at her. Natasha, just tell me the truth. Do you love me? Or do you love what I can provide? Both, she said finally. Her voice was small. Is that so wrong? I do love you, Marcus. But yes, I also love the security you offer, the life we could have together. Why does it have to be one or the other? Because love isn't supposed to be conditional, I said. It's not supposed to come with a price tag. Easy for you to say, Natasha snapped. You've apparently been sitting on millions while pretending to be poor. Talk about deception. I was testing you, and you failed. No, you were playing games, manipulating situations. You're just as bad as you're accusing me of being. She had a point, but I wasn't going to admit it. Marcus stood up, walked to the window, stared out at the city. I need time, he said. Time to process all of this. Mom, you lied to me for years. Natasha, you lied to me about your situation. I don't know who to trust anymore. Marcus, I only lied to protect you, I said. And I only kept quiet because I was ashamed, Natasha said. Because I didn't want you to think less of me. Well, now I know the truth about both of you, Marcus said. And I need space. From both of you. My heart sank. Marcus, please, Mom, just go. I'll call you when I'm ready to talk. I left. Drove home with tears streaming down my face. Had I pushed too hard? Gone too far? What if I had destroyed my relationship with my son trying to save him from a bad marriage? A week passed, then another. Marcus didn't call. I tried to give him space, but it was killing me. My only child, not speaking to me. Because I had been trying to help him. Bernard called to check on me. Any word from Marcus? He asked. No, nothing. He'll come around. He just needs time to process everything. What if he doesn't? What if I've lost him? You haven't lost him, Helen. He's hurt, confused. But he'll realize you were trying to protect him. I hope you're right. On the third week, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find Marcus standing there. Can I come in? He asked. Of course, always. We sat in the living room. The same living room where he'd grown up, where we'd watched movies together, where he'd done his homework, where Richard had read him bedtime stories. I called off the wedding, Marcus said. My heart leaped, but I tried to stay calm. Are you okay? No, but I will be. He looked around the room. This house. I have so many good memories here. I never thought of us as poor. I just thought of us as us, happy, together. We were happy. You could have told me about the money, Mom. At any point. Why didn't you? I took a deep breath. When your father died, I was devastated, lost. I had this money, but I didn't care about it. All I cared about was you, making sure you grew up to be a good person, a kind person, someone who valued things that mattered. And you thought money would corrupt me? I thought money would change things, change how people saw you, how you saw yourself. I watched my friends' kids grow up entitled, spoiled, never appreciating what they had. I didn't want that for you. So you pretended to be poor? I lived simply. There's a difference. Everything I gave you was real, Marcus. Real love, real values, real lessons. The only thing that wasn't real was the poverty. He was quiet for a long time. I understand why you did it, he said finally. I don't like it, but I understand it. And Natasha? He shook his head. I loved her. Or I thought I did. But when I confronted her with everything, the way she talked about you, the things she said, I realized she wasn't the person I thought she was. I'm sorry. Don't be. You saved me from making a huge mistake. Even if your methods were. He searched for the word. Questionable. I smiled. Questionable is fair. But Mom, we need to establish some ground rules going forward. No more lies, no more tests. If you have concerns about someone I'm dating, you talk to me. You don't launch covert operations. Deal. And you need to tell me about your finances. Your real finances. I want to know what Dad left us. What you've built. All of it. Okay. We spent the next hour talking. I told him everything. About Richard's real estate empire. About the investments, the properties, the net worth, his inheritance that had been waiting for him all along. Marcus was stunned. $12 million? Give or take. And you've been living in this house, driving that car, wearing those clothes. I like this house. That car still runs. And expensive clothes don't make me happy, he laughed. Actually laughed. You're something else, Mom. Is that good or bad? Both. Definitely both. We hugged. A real hug. Long and tight and full of forgiveness. I love you, Mom. Even when you're driving me crazy. I love you too, baby. Always. Over the next few months, Marcus healed. Got back to himself. He started dating again eventually. A woman named Sarah, who was a teacher. She drove an old car, wore simple clothes, lived in a small apartment, and she had no idea about our money. I waited for Marcus to tell me he was going to reveal the truth to her, to not make the same mistakes I had, but he didn't. One day, over coffee, I asked him about it. Sarah doesn't know, I said. About the money? No. Are you going to tell her? He smiled. Eventually, but not yet. I want to make sure she loves me for me, not for what I have. You learned that from me. I learned a lot of things from you, Mom. Some good. Some questionable, but I understand now why you did what you did. And if Sarah turns out to be another Natasha, then I'll handle it. But I don't think she will. She's different, real, authentic. I hope so. Me too. 6 months later, Marcus proposed to Sarah. In the same small cafe where I'd revealed the truth to him about Natasha. Sarah said yes. And this time, when they had an engagement party, I showed up in a beautiful dress with styled hair and elegant jewelry. Looking like the wealthy woman I actually was. Sarah's parents were there. Middle-class folks. Her father was a plumber. Her mother was a nurse. Good people. Hard-working people. They looked at me with surprise when I walked in. Mrs. Williams, Sarah's mother said, you look different. I clean up well, I said with a smile. Marcus introduced me to everyone, told them about Richard's real estate business, about our investments, about the life we'd built. Sarah was shocked. You never said your family had money. I wanted you to get to know me first, Marcus said. The real me. Not the version of me that comes with a trust fund. I would have loved you either way. I know. That's why I'm marrying you. I watched them together, the way they looked at each other, the way they laughed, the genuine affection and respect between them. This was different. This was real. After the party, Sarah pulled me aside. Mrs. Williams, can I ask you something? Of course. And please, call me Helen. Did you test me? Like Marcus tested his ex-fiancée? I was surprised by her directness. What makes you ask that? Marcus told me the whole story. About Natasha. About what you did. And I've been wondering if you've been evaluating me this whole time. I thought about lying, but I'd promised Marcus. No more lies. Yes, I said. I have been. But not in the way I tested Natasha. I've just been watching, observing, getting to know who you really are. And I think you're wonderful. I think you love my son for all the right reasons. And I'm grateful he found you. Sarah smiled. Good. Because I was worried you might pull some elaborate scheme to test me. And honestly, I don't know if I would have passed. I'm not very good at tests. I laughed. You've already passed, Sarah, by being yourself. That's all I ever wanted. The wedding was beautiful, simple, elegant, held in a garden under the spring sun. Sarah wore a dress that cost $300, not $3,000. The food was good, but not extravagant. The guests were family and close friends, not business contacts and social climbers. It was perfect. During the reception, I gave a toast. When Marcus was born, I said, his father and I made a promise. We promised to raise him to be kind, to be honest, to value people over possessions. Richard didn't live to see Marcus grow up, but I did. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that we kept that promise. Marcus is everything we hoped he would be. And Sarah, you're everything I hoped he would find. Someone who sees him, really sees him. Not his bank account or his potential or his status, just him. Welcome to our family. We're so lucky to have you. Everyone clapped. Sarah was crying. Marcus was smiling. And I felt at peace. Later that night, after the wedding, Marcus found me sitting alone. "Thank you, Mom," he said. "For what?" "For caring enough to interfere. For protecting me. Even when it was messy and complicated and probably crossed a dozen boundaries. You're my son. I'll always protect you. I know. But I need you to promise me something." "What?" "When Sarah and I have kids, you'll tell them the truth. About the money. About everything. No more secrets. No more tests." I thought about it. About the next generation. About doing things differently. "I promise," I said. "No more secrets." And I meant it. Because I'd learned something through all of this. Money doesn't define who you are. It doesn't make you better or worse, kinder or crueler, worthy or unworthy. What defines you is how you treat people, how you love, how you show up for the people who matter. And on that measure, Marcus had always been rich. Richer than I could have ever made him with money. He just needed to find someone who recognized that. Someone who valued it. Someone who loved him for exactly who he was. And in Sarah, he had. As I watched them dance together, their first dance as husband and wife, I thought about Richard, about how proud he would be, about how this was exactly what we'd wanted for our son. A good life, a real life, built on love and truth and genuine connection, not on money or status or carefully constructed images. My test had worked, but not in the way I'd originally planned. It hadn't just revealed who Natasha really was. It had revealed who Marcus really was. A man of integrity. A man who valued the right things. A man who could walk away from someone beautiful and charming when he realized she didn't align with his values. Richard and I had done well. And as I sat there, in my elegant dress at my son's beautiful wedding, I finally understood something. The money didn't matter. It never had. What mattered was this moment, this love, this family. Everything else was just details. And I was finally ready to let go of the game. To stop testing, to start trusting, because Marcus had proven himself 1,000 times over, and that was worth more than all the money in the world. Subscribe for more real stories like this.